All right, guys, good day. Welcome to our weekly analysis. So in this week's analysis, we're just going to start with a pair, which is pound dollar. So this is the daily time frame. So let's do our markings. So on the daily time frame, we're going to start with the supply. So this is how I'm going to approach this. So first of all, I'm going to take the low of Friday's close or Friday's candle. Then I'm going to take the high of that candle. This is on the daily. As you can see, price pushed to 1.3890, then dropped to 1.3858 area. So if you take a look at this shaded area, this entire zone, that is a supply. So the reason being that you can see that is where we started experiencing some good drop. So after that bullish candle, the next was a sell. Then from this bearish candle, you can see price pushed downward. So that is why this particular zone is referred to as a supply. Now, that was pertaining to last week. So let's see pertaining to this week. So you're gonna pick the high of this bearish candle, that candle there, and we are using the open of that same candle to form the lower boundary of our supply. So you just shade it, extend. So that is our supply, which means we are expecting price to push to that area. So now with respect to our demand, so we maintain the low and make reference to this, and that is going to form our demand zone. So now with this in place, our expectation, if we can take a look at the structure created, so you can see this is a low that was being created. Price pushed upward to give us a new high. Then we have experienced a higher low at this point. So now, so this where price pushed to, or the high of Friday's candle, is our new higher highs, considering from this perspective. So now the expectation or our bias on pound dollar is bullish. Our bias is bullish. We're expecting price to push all the way into this zone before we can experience some reaction to this area. So a push to 1.3917 to 1.3957 area, then probably we can expect some reaction in that zone towards 1.3866 area. So potentially we'll be looking for bulls on pound dollar for the week. If we have any retracement, then it's gonna be a push to retest this zone, then a continuation to the upside. So basically on pound dollar, remember the bias is bullish. The bias is bullish. So Price will either, when market opens, drop to retest this zone, then push further up to give us an or to establish a new highs, which would be our next higher high. So potentially we might experience a higher low to give us the expected higher high, or just a straight up push to give us a new highs. So bias wise is bullish. That is projection on the daily. So before we move to our next pair, let's just take a look at the weekly. So you can see on the weekly, so that zone is still valid on the weekly, because even though the weekly looks like we are bearish, that zone you can see does not alter this high, which potentially is acting as a lower high. So if price pushes into this zone, it's going to be a new lower high, probably to drop. That is on the weekly. So like I said, on the daily, we are still looking forward for buys. So that is our bias on pound dollar. So let's quickly take a look at another pair, which is gold. So this is gold on the weekly. Gold also looks a bit bullish. So let's see. Let's look at our point. So this is acting as a resistance, and this is actually the zone we're expecting price to push into last week, which it did. So let's step down to daily to have a clearer look of what we are expecting. So this is our zone on the daily. So this is it. This is our supply. So this is going to act as our first demand. So we have an overall demand around this area. So this is just a guide. Then we will. Okay, so that's about it. Now, what is our expectation? So here, this is where we're now going to pull our trend line. So that is our trend line. Now price has dipped into our supply. So you can see a first touch there, second touch, and this is our third touch. So now basically we are expecting price to retrace, either to test this trend line, then keep pushing bullish. But if price breaks through the trend line, we are expecting price to dip downward, getting liquidity from this supply zone. So short term, I would say for gold right now, based on where it is, it's a point where we just have to sit on our hands and watch what happens. Either a break of this zone, so you wait for a break, a retest, then you can now go in for a buy. Because if you take a look at the left hand side, there is nothing really stopping the bullish run. So if it breaks, then the bullish run will obviously continue all the way to, that's on the longer term, to 1886 area. At least that would have been that would be my target. So if it doesn't, so our expectation will be for it to break this trend line, probably give us a retest, then target 1804. So on gold, we are having a dual bias, but we are just going to wait and know which one would be valid. So we are bullish when it breaks the 1834 and give us a retest, probably on the lower time frame. Then we can go bullish all the way to 1886 on a longer time frame. Or when it breaks our trend line, then we can go in for a sell to target 1804 as our first target, and 1789 would be our second target. So this is going to be our outlook, what we are going to be targeting, looking out for on gold. Remember, this is the daily. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is our usual, which is the US30. So this is H4. So we start this week again on the weekly. So on the weekly, as you can see, for the past 3 weeks, price has been kind of arranging. It has been trading sideways. That is why we had, you can see after this kind of a pin bar, doji pin bar, you can see price pushed higher. That week ended as a bullish candle. The next week, price pushed lower, ended as a sell candle. Then the next continuing week, you can see it went bullish. The just concluded week is bearish, but this signifies continuation. So on US30, I'll be expecting price to keep pushing higher. The only point with which I'm going to have a change of mind is if price trades lower, if price trades lower 34,991. So at that point, then we can start expecting some strong sells all the way to 33,706, or it might even dip lower to 32,076 area. Remember, this is on the weekly. So now, as we expect price to push higher, so we're going to wait for price to break through the 35,588 area. Then we can now join in the buys. So let's switch to daily and see how things looks over there. So if this 35,588 area, price level is broken, then this is where I'm going to pull my fib. So put it on the level, look at the swing point. So I'll expect price to at least hit, first of all, of course, this is closer. So price will first of all hit the 161 area. So let's see what price level is at. That's 37,714. And the next target would be, so this is it. So my next target will be the 38th area of this. So that is 35,984 price level. So that would be my ultimate target on the buys. So when price pushes through the 35,800, so we are expecting price to give us at least about 400 pips to the upside. That is around 35,900. So for those of us that will be chasing the round figure, you can go for 36,000. So flat 36. So I just like to sometimes leave out some points. So I will just stick to my fib. So which is 35,984 price level. So that is the potential target on the buys. So the reverse is we're just going to be patient and wait for price to break this level 34,991 area. Then we can now join in for the sell if price is going to trade lower. So for now, our bias is bullish. 35,714 as our first target, 35,984 as our overall target for the week. So bullish, bearish, if price breaks through this area, then we can now sell. So this is basically our expectation on a US30 following the weekly and the daily. So be it as it may, we're just going to keep tap on these price levels as we have spotted on all the three pairs we are considering this week. So as price react to them, then we will also make our trading decision accordingly. So that's it, guys. If you find this helpful, please don't forget to like the video and give me a thumbs up, and also subscribe to the page. Please also, you can comment and also contribute or ask question. We will all really appreciate that. Thank you, guys. See you in the trading floor.